Welcome to the Bulgarian Troglodyte. My name is SJS, and today I'm gonna do a tier list of David Lynch's films and shows. And if you didn't know already, David Lynch is my favorite filmmaker. I'm absolutely obsessed about his films. I'm such a huge fanboy, and this ranking won't be like a quote unquote objective ranking or the what is the greatest David Lynch ranking, but it's purely my opinion and what are my favorites. Yeah. So I will be putting these on different tiers, but also I'm gonna rank the films inside the tiers. So the ones that are on the left, I prefer to the ones that are on the right side of these rows here. But anyway, we will go in the order that they are here. So first we have Blue Velvet, which goes straight into the S tier. It's one of my absolute favorite films of all time. I'll send you a love letter straight from my heart, fucker. You know what a love letter is? It's a bullet from a fucking gun, fucker. If you ever receive a love letter from me, you're fucked forever. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. It's way more accessible than most of his films, but it still has that surreal element to it. It still has that weird element to it, but it just has that kind of more engaging, accessible plot. I guess that makes it a bit easier to watch for quote unquote normal people. Yeah. And I think some hardcore Lynch fans might say that the film isn't as good as some of his more complex films as it lacks that incomprehensibility and things like that, but I think it's still one of his best, even though it doesn't have that Twin Peaks level of incomprehensible plot or anything like that. It has amazing soundtrack. It's one of the funniest films of all time. You might think that I'm a sociopath when I say that, but I actually find this film really hilarious, especially the Frank Booth character. Heineken, fuck that shit. Babs, blue ribbon. But anyway, I've talked about that film so many times. But then we have Dune, and I will put that in the C or D tier. I mean, I think it's like a 5 out of 10 type of movie, so it's like watchable, it's mediocre. I think I like some of the visuals, but it feels quite clunky. Also at times maybe a bit lifeless in a way, but I again, like I said, I like some of the visuals and some of the ideas there. So it's not a bad movie, I think. So well, I'll put it in the D tier. So again, it's not F tier, so not awful, but it's mediocre. So yeah. Then we have Eraserhead, and it goes to S tier as well. One of the best low budget films ever made. It looks incredibly disgusting, but in a good way. And it's a very relatable film for me, actually, as I think the film is all about social anxiety. Okay, we see how everything is a threat, other people are a threat, the environment around him is a threat. So people who have like lots of anxieties, I think, can really relate to the main character of Eraserhead. And it's just a visual feast again in that disgusting way, and it's such an interesting film. Absolutely love everything about it. I've seen it so many times at this point, and it just keeps getting better. Then Inland Empire is one film that I don't kind of get fully yet, so but I like the film though, so I'm gonna put it in the B tier. So one of the problems I have with it is that I just don't like really the aesthetic. It just looks so cheap and ugly, and those things can sometimes work as an advantage for a film, but I don't think they necessarily are an advantage for this film. But there are so many memorable, very creepy scenes here, and it's such an interesting film still to watch, even though I have some problems with the aesthetic and stuff. And I've watched it twice, and definitely on my second watch, I liked it more than on my first watch. But I just always imagine that what this film would have been if it had like the same visual style as Holland Drive, for example. I think this could have been a masterpiece then, but I guess many people would say that part of the charm and part of the kind of identity of this film is the visual style that it has. But yeah, it kind of turns me off. Yeah, it turns me off. But yeah, it's a good, very interesting, and very incomprehensible film as well. Then we have Lost Highway. It's S tier. So again, out of these three, I prefer Blue Velvet, then Lost Highway, then Eraserhead. Although Lost Highway and Eraserhead, it's quite hard to say which one I prefer. But Lost Highway is an incredible film, very kind of psychoanalytical film in the way. When you think about it, it tackles masculinity, impotence, things like that. It has a crazy soundtrack where we have everything from free jazz to Rammstein to this Mortal Coil, so and even these kind of jazzier or these kind of like instrumental jazz pieces that aren't free jazz but are that's kind of more groovy form stuff that we have in lots of the moments. So yeah, and the Mystery Man is very creepy. And this is also such a funny movie in many ways, especially like the mobster guy who also played Vince LaManna in The Sopranos. He's really funny, I think. And the Mystery Man, now that I've kind of gotten used to it, there is some dark humor there as well, I think. But he really creeps me out, and I've had nightmares about him too. Even though I usually have nightmares about Bob, but I've had a couple of nightmares about Mystery Man as well. Yeah, and the film is quite beautiful aesthetically as well. And I think the film isn't as complex as you might think at first. Like when you watch it first for a few times, and when you really pay attention to all the details, I think it's not that difficult of a movie in the end. Yeah. Cruise me, cruise me, cruise me, baby. Then we have Mulholland Drive, which is my favorite one of the ones that we've covered so far. So it goes here. And it's actually my second favorite film of all time. I've seen it, I think, 6 or 7 times now, once in the cinema, two in the Prince Charles Cinema in London. An absolutely incredible film. Might be his best looking film. It has such a great atmospheric, hypnotic quality to it. And also very disturbing film, especially the last 20 minutes. And this film, I would say, just like Lost Highway, it isn't as complex as you might think on your first watch, because when you realize what the kind of last 20 minutes of the film are, I think you can kind of piece it together that yeah, first we have this fantasy and then the end is kind of what the world is really like. Yeah, we put it in a very simple terms. Yeah, great soundtrack here again. There are so many magical moments here, and this film is also quite funny. This is the girl. Yeah, I love the cowboy scene with the "This is the girl." Yeah, and I love the 60 Reasons Why I Love You song as well, and that scene is so great. Yeah, yeah, such a magnificent film. I absolutely love it. Although it's always stupid that I always tend to watch it just before I go to bed at night, and then I never can like get sleep because I'm so disturbed by the ending. So, yeah. But then we have Elephant Man. I'm gonna put it in the eight here. It's a really solid film, very emotional film. I think a very important film. It shows how society, others, people that are different, even though those people that are different can actually be really great people if you can just look past the looks or some surface level things. So I think the subject matter is very important and something that I think this is one of those films that you could show in schools, I think, and try to explain to the kids that why you shouldn't bully other people, why you should respect other people and things like that. So it has very important themes, but also aesthetically it has really nice black and white cinematography. Anthony Hopkins is really great in it. John Hurt is really great in it. Many powerful scenes like that one that I'm not an animal, I'm not an elephant, I'm a human being. That's obviously a legendary scene. Yeah. Then we have the Straight Story. I'll put it in the B tier. It's a really good film, I think. I probably prefer it to Inland Empire, but I just happen to love the weirder stuff more. But this is like a really good slice of life travel film, and it's very impressive how Lynch did a film like this that is completely different to anything else that he ever made. It's a very emotional film as well, very relatable film, and one that makes you think about like how you could behave differently with your family and friends and stuff, and how you maybe should try to connect with people maybe from your past with whom your relationships ended badly and things like that. So yeah, it's a film that makes you think about lots of personal stuff, and I like films like that. And I also like the aesthetic that is very different to other Lynch films. And this is actually the only film on the well, Straight Story and Dune are the only films here that I've only seen once. Yeah. But then we have my favorite film of all time. It's Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. And I actually used to think that this is the most disturbing thing Lynch ever did, and I think it probably still is objectively. Now that I've watched the film, I think 7 times, I've gotten used to the really disturbing scene, like what happens in the cabin and in the train, and when Bob comes to Laura's room and things like that. Like those used to give me nightmares and make me absolutely paranoid and stuff. But now I'm so used to them that I can watch the film without losing sleep, at least that much. And it might be his best looking film aesthetically, just like Mulholland Drive. Like there are some absolutely incredible shots and the hypnotic vibe, the use of color, but also the angles and how the characters are positioned in the shots. It's incredible. And this just has such a huge array of different emotions. It makes you cry, it makes you horrified, it makes you laugh. There are points of absolute beauty, and then there are parts with absolute terror, like the ending with Julie Cruz is the voice of love, and the angel thing and everything. It's just one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in any film, and I just wish that the voice of love that they used in the end that it was the vocal version with Julie Cruz's vocals. That is, the vocal version is in the Voice of Love album, but in the film it's actually instrumental version of it. I think so. Yeah, but a desert island type of film for me. Absolutely love it. Then we have Twin Peaks: The Return. I put it probably between Blue Velvet and Lost Highway to the S tier. Absolutely incredible. I like how they can don't answer all the questions that we had from the original series and Fire Walk with Me, because that's the Lynchian way. You rather raise more questions than answer the old ones. Yeah. Kyle MacLachlan is absolutely incredible here with his 3 different roles. And this is also a very funny show or film, however you want to think about it. But then it has those horrible scenes like when the doppelganger can Bob inside like Agent Cooper's body, like how he gets shot and we have those like dark minions around him, like that's really disturbing. And then the Iconolite thing is really disturbing. And he has so many disturbing moments there. But then the mobsters from Las Vegas are really funny. Yeah, it's a very slow paced show, but absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And it just gets better the more episodes you watch. Yeah, incredible. Incredible. Then the original series, I'll put it next to the return. I'll put it in the right side because I think the return is a bit more consistent because the original series has some filler, but it at the same time has some of the absolute peaks of anything David Lynch ever did. It's absolutely incredible, and again, it's a great mix of different things. Some really horrifying things, funny scenes, literally weird stuff, hopeful stuff, beautiful stuff. Yeah, but the ending is absolutely incredible and disturbing, and it gave me nightmares the first time I watched it, and I couldn't sleep normally for a couple of months. Actually, it just left such a huge impact on me. Yeah, it's so good. Then we have Wild at Heart, which I'm gonna put in the A tier. I've watched this couple of times. It improved on the second watch. It's such a funny film. Snakeskin jacket. It represents my individuality and my belief in personal freedom, or however it goes. That's so funny. Like Nick Cage is on fire here. I love Laura Dern. Willem Dafoe is pretty kind of funnily creepy in this film with his weird teeth and stuff. Yeah, but it's a funny movie. But I don't think it's one of his like absolute best. It goes for maybe a bit more of that just straight up entertainment rather than going for something more than just entertainment. Yeah, but that's my tier list. Obviously, so many of them are in the S tier because, again, like I said, I'm such a fanboy. And Dune, I'm still thinking whether it should be D or C tier, but like I said, it's kind of like a 5 out of 10 type of movie, 2.5 star movie, mediocre movie. So not bad, not good. Some interesting elements about it, but not something I'm rushing to watch again. I haven't seen the Villeneuve Dunes yet, so I cannot compare to them to that. But to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if I prefer the Lynch version to the Villeneuve ones, because at least the Lynch version has some heart to it. So, but anyway, let me know how your tier list would look. Let me know what you think of any of these films, or as what you think of Lynch as a director. And you can also suggest other tier lists that I should do. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't drink Coke at all. Sayonara, arigato gozaimashita. Silencio, no hai panda.